In the summer of 1518, something strange gripped the streets of Strasbourg. A woman stepped into the open air and began to dance. Not for joy. Not for music. She could not stop. By the end of the week, dozens more had joined her, flailing, twitching, collapsing. Some died on their feet, and no one knew why. This is the true story of the dancing plague.
Strasbourg in the 1500s was a city under pressure. Part of the Holy Roman Empire, it was plagued by famine, disease, and growing unrest. The Rhine swelled unpredictably. Crops failed, and many believed the end times were near. Within this atmosphere of dread, a woman named Frautrophis stepped into the street and began to dance.
First reports describe her moving silently, without music, for hours, then days. She danced until her shoes were soaked in blood. Neighbors watched, then joined. Within a week, 30 were dancing. By the end of the month, over 400.
Contemporary accounts detail bodies collapsing from exhaustion. Some suffered strokes. Others died of heart failure right down the square. Yet the dancing spread. The local authorities were desperate. They consulted doctors, who concluded the affliction was hot blood and excessive heat in the body. The solution? Let them dance it out.
So they cleared space, built a stage, even hired musicians. What began as panic turned into sanctioned madness. People were dying, but they danced until their legs gave out. Some foamed at the mouth, others screamed as if in pain, yet continued to move.
City council records show a growing crisis. Priests were called to exorcise dancers. Those who still lived were taken to shrines in the Vosges Mountains. Some recovered. Others simply vanished from record. No consistent treatment worked. And then, as abruptly as it began, the dancing stopped.
It left behind no clear cause, no infection, no poison, just confusion and fear that it might return. Over time, the story faded into legend, but the documents remain, the death tallies, the physician notes, the woodcut images of anguished faces and twisted bodies in mid-dance. It was real. It happened.
Modern researchers have proposed several theories. Some cite ergot poisoning, a hallucinogenic fungus found on mouldy rye. Others suggest it was a mass psychogenic illness, a form of hysteria triggered by trauma and shared fear. In an era ruled by divine wrath and superstition, the mind could fracture, collectively. But even this cannot fully explain what occurred.
There are stranger proposals. Some believe it was a form of ritual punishment, a penance for unnamed sins. Others claim it was spiritual possession. A few have connected it to Saint Vitus, a patron saint associated with uncontrollable movement. In his name, people once danced in worship or fear. Perhaps this was not an outbreak. Perhaps it was an offering.
Strasbourg moved on. The dancers were buried. The plague never returned in full, but the records remain, proof that, for a time, people died from dancing, not for celebration, not for joy, but as if gripped by something unseen, something old and deeply human. We do not know what it was, but we know this: they could not stop.